I was stubborn. The Jew needs a sign. He's got to see something. And I mean, I hear voices. There are lots of voices. Like, you know, I'd listened to voices before, but I had a vision sitting at my coffee table. I cleaned my house. I went to a Bill Gothard seminar. And Bill Gothard said, I need to clean my house and I need to call my parents and ask forgiveness for the way I behaved. And I did both of them. I cleaned my house. I got everything out of my house that didn't honor Jesus, and I called my mama and my daddy on the phone. They were still alive, and I said, I'm sorry, I've been such a rotten kid. Will you forgive me? I was crying. My mama, she said, that's enough, son. And my daddy said, shut up and let him finish. So I did. He wanted to hear some more.
Check you out, make sure you were real.
Confession was good for the soul.
When he died, I think he still had questions. Bless his heart. Actually, people have seen little girls who see children have seen a man. He used to wear a fedora.
Really?
And anyway,
well,
sometimes I wish he was here so I could talk to him.
How did this tie in with this getting started?
I'll let Russell tell you that. Because he really did all the work. All I did was ask him to do things that he did.
Russell, do you want to go to a song first, or you got this kind of planned out?
That's up to you. I can tell you a little.
Let's do that, and then we'll go to that song.
Okay, that's fine. Well, Jerry's giving his testimony about how the revelation changed his life, and then I shared a little bit about years later. After that, I walk into where his son was reading the Revelation in his home, and it changed my life. So there was a connection with the book of the Revelation, and so I felt we were living in those days. I mean, it was so real, and for the things in the book to come to pass, I still believe that. And so back in 2002, fast forward, and we might go back to the in between, but in 2002. Jerry had lived in Israel on 2 or 3 occasions. I'd been a couple times to Israel, to Jerusalem, and but none of our kids had been. None of the young people had been. And in 2002, a word came forth in the church that they were going to go. I believe that they had a heart's desire to go. I don't think it was really expressed. I mean, they'd see the brothers go all the time to the feast, and we'd come back and all these amazing testimonies and things. I think they wanted to go, and the Lord knew that, and so we made a trip in 2002 and brought all the young people, and we stayed at the Ecce Homo on the Via Dolorosa, and they brought their instruments. At that time, they had been learning how to play musical instruments, and a lot of them were on the Song of Moses. They were playing on the Song of Moses. And so they brought their instruments, and we went down to the north side of the Temple Mount, right on the Via Dolorosa. I know you're familiar with coming in the Lion's Gate there and across from St. Anne. And we'd set up, and it happened to be the Muslim quarter, and we'd set up there and just praise the Lord at the Feast of Tabernacles. And we had, at that particular feast, we had, long story, but the brothers, we got together and decided that we would stay kind of, rent some rooms for a year. One of the brothers here kind of had a urging to rent the 2 rooms at the Ecce Homo for a year, and us to kind of do a kind of like a staggered watch and continue to go down to that place. The Lord had led us supernaturally to this place, and I'd like to share that testimony when we come back. But we knew it was a special place, but we felt like the Lord wanted us to read aloud the revelation of Jesus Christ. Jerry read a minute ago in the 3rd verse, chapter 1, he quoted verse 1, 2, and 3, but in verse 3 it said, "Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of the prophecy of this book, for the time is at hand." And if you look at that in the Amplified, or the way that's written in the actual Greek, it means aloud, read aloud.
Really?
So we decided that we were going to go down at this place and read aloud every day for a year the revelation of Jesus Christ.
Right there in the Muslim quarter?
Right there in the Muslim quarter.
Oh, boy.
And it was quite an experience. And we had
of course, in '83, it was not crazy. Well, this is
2002.
That was crazy.
Yeah. And we would go down there and we'd pray. At that time, the Temple Mount was closed. In 2000, Ariel Sharon, as you know, went up to at Rosh Hashanah, went up to the Temple Mount, and the Second Intifada broke out, and they closed the Temple Mount unless you were a Muslim. So we would go down every day. The two brothers, we'd walk down from the Ecce Homo down the Via Dolorosa to this place across from St. Anne's, and we'd get our Bibles out and we'd read the revelation of Jesus Christ aloud together every day. Well, actually, we went 3 times a day for a year. And we're just a small group of brothers, and so it was a sacrifice. We had to sacrifice, and we got down to the end of this year, and we were getting low on manpower. I mean, we only had so many brothers that could actually go, and some of us would stay 30 days, some 60, some 90, and however much we could. And the last 2 brothers, Martin and his oldest son Aaron, stayed there for a long time. Because 5.5 months or 6 months, something like that.
8 months, right? 8 months.
Yeah, total, I think it was 8 months, and but because we couldn't afford to send in, other brothers, so they did the last months, and right before the Feast of Tabernacles that year, to complete the year, the Temple Mount opened. We've been praying for the Temple Mount to open, and they were some of the first to go up after it opened, and they went up to the Temple Mount, the 2 of them, and read aloud the revelation of Jesus Christ up on the Temple Mount.
Martin was arrested.
Yes, they were thrown off after they completed it, and but we
nice
believe
to get arrested up there.
but we believe that had a lot to do with the revelation.
He didn't go peacefully.
The revelation that came to us concerning the Song of Moses, and getting the music. He came back from that, and it was a life-changing experience for him. And the Lord blessed him with the melody and the music to that song.
Beautiful.
Really.
And we learned it, and as a group, and the young people learned to play it, and we knew we had to go sing it in Jerusalem. And the Lord opened some pretty amazing doors for us to sing it. And we believe it has prophetic significance, a lot of prophetic significance.
Tell them about the Taylor in 2005.
2005. Okay, in 2000, we went over there to sing it the first time in 2004 at Hanukkah. The Lord had us go over at Hanukkah. Let me tell that real quick, because that led into 2005. But 2004, we went over there, and we'd never been at Hanukkah. We never even really thought, but the Lord directed us to go at Hanukkah. And one day we were walking down the Via Dolorosa, and there's I don't know if you know, that western tunnel that runs along the western side. It comes out, the exit is right on the Via Dolorosa.
Right by
and they
the
usually have
tunnel.
soldiers there, they're carrying their Uzis, but this particular time, it wasn't just soldiers. There was an older gentleman in there that had a special hat on, and he was the head Temple Mount security guy. And his name was Jacob. We didn't know it at the time. But he was in the tunnel, and when we walked by, we'd walk by there every day to go down to this place to sing and worship the Lord. And he said, "Sing me a song." And it was like, I mean, we couldn't have set that up. I mean, it was just, here we are. We believe we're coming with the Song of Moses and the Song of the Lamb. Here's Jacob, comes out, sing me a song. And so Martin said, "We'll sing you the Song of Moses." And he spoke broken English. He didn't really understand English real well, and he kind of had a puzzled look on his face. And Martin said, "The Song of Moshe." And he got it. And he said, "Oh." And so they started playing that, and the soldiers came out of the tunnel, and they started dancing, and he was all,
Really?
Jacob was excited, and so they had that testimony. And then in 2005, we came back from that trip, and at that time, Jerry had lost all that weight, and he was real thin, and beginning of 2005, me and another brother, Keith, were up on the Temple Mount. We'd gone up there to break bread up on the Temple Mount, and on the east side of the dome of the rock, there's a that little